Today on the Tiger Lacrosse Report, head coach Sean Nadelen and I will preview the Tigers game against the Delaware Blue Hens. Get ready, Tiger fans. The Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now.
Cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Give it your all for a piece of the action. Getting involved in the moment is magic.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Rock and Jump, the ultimate trampoline park, is now open in Towson. Get big air and have big fun at Rock and Jump. You and your friends are sure to have a blast in our state-of-the-art jumping arenas. Want to be a rock star with your kids? Book their next birthday party at Rock and Jump. Our slam dunk zones, high-flying dodgeball, and super popular X-Beam make Rock and Jump the most rockin' birthday experience around. With a private party room and a personal party host, a Rock and Jump birthday party is great for the kids and easy on parents. Visit rockandjump.com for all the info or to book your party today.
Welcome to the Tiger Lacrosse Report, filmed inside the TSN studios located in CQ Arena. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas. The Tigers coming off a win on the road against UMass and now back at Johnny Unitas Stadium for the next 2 weeks. And this Saturday, part of Military Appreciation Day, the Tigers will take on the Blue Hens of Delaware. And joining me now, the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadelen. Coach, 2-0 heading into this game on Saturday against Delaware. The Blue Hens are 1-1. They had the big win against UMass 2 weeks ago. Lost to Hofstra this past weekend, but Delaware is a team, as they showed against UMass. They can be dangerous. They're 4-8. They beat Binghamton a couple of weeks ago. They're a team that looks like they're getting better as the season's gone on.
They are. I think they struggled early on trying to figure out who they were and have kind of identified themselves, understand what helps them be successful defensively, offensively, beat UMass, at home, at Delaware. In a tough game and played zone pretty much the entire game. So I think that's something that they're going to rely on a little bit more as they go into conference play. And they're good at it. It's a zone they've always run. And offensively, getting productions from a few different guys. But the nice thing for them is that they're facing off pretty well too. They struggled against Hofstra, but Delaware is always a dangerous team at the X.
Yeah, they're a team that's averaging, I think, about 53, 54% from the X, and they have two guys who are over 50%. They're two main face-off men. What do you do to combat that? Because Alec Berkeley had some problems late in the game against UMass. He did,
and Alec's got to show up and bring his A game, against Delaware. I thought Alec did a decent job for the most part. Some wing play, we didn't do as well. UMass's wings were terrific and made some nice plays there. So we got to be able to be much better off the wings going against Delaware because they got some pretty good guys in the mix as well. But Alec has got to come out and be dominant. He's got to have that mindset regardless of who he faces and know that if we do struggle, Steven Stillwell's got to be able to come in and give us something, or some other guys. But we got to be able to definitely make the face-off battle get back in our favor going forward.
Paul Major, 19 goals in Delaware's games so far this season in 12 games. So obviously he's a guy that you have to look at on their offensive side.
Yeah, he's a little bit more of the quarterback for them. A kid that we've known, we recruited Paul, so we've known him since high school, and it's good to see him. It's nice to see him kind of develop and move on, even though he's at Delaware. But he's a guy that again, I think helps their
It's not
offense
nice that he's
click.
at Delaware.
It isn't, but it's nice that, we've been able to neutralize him over the past couple of years. So hopefully we get to do that again coming up.
They're a team that they've scored over 100 goals in their 12 games. They've given up 134. Their goalkeepers look like they maybe have struggled at times that year. Is that also because of the entire defense, that the goalies' numbers aren't as great as they might be?
I do, as I stated before. I think they were playing a little bit not knowing kind of what they were about in the early part of the season and not really understanding their system well. I think they've settled into that, playing both man and zone and alternating it back. It's helped their goalies, in the films that we've seen, be a little bit more comfortable in the cage and not have to make as many acrobatic or spectacular saves. It's eased them into the game a little bit more. So I think their goalies are comfortable with what they're doing, so it helps them in confidence.
As the season progresses and it goes in by steps, you look at your non-conference schedule. You had a very, very good. I know you're still upset you have that one loss, but overall, 8-1, pretty darn good in non-conference play. So now you're in conference play. You're 2-0. The next step is to qualify for the CAA tournament. A win on Saturday could just about do that for you guys. Are your players aware of that you get that one more win and you pretty much would qualify for the CAA tournament?
They might be aware of it. I haven't heard them talking about it or anything in regards to chatter. The big thing that we continue to focus on, and we have from the start, is every practice and every game is specific, and you got to come out in practice, be ready to make that a great day and improve, and then obviously the same thing on game day, and be able to, regardless of the scenario, is it going to make you 3-0 in the league? Is it going to win you a CAA championship? Is it going to be a win against Loyola? It's a game, and you got to approach it like that. You got to understand who your opponent is and know what they're about, but you also got to be able to play great lacrosse, and the type of lacrosse that Towson's known for. And that's what we really need to continue to do and focus on. And, we think that playing our brand of lacrosse and executing at a high level should put us in position for success and a win. I think if we do that against Delaware, nothing should change, with that. But again, if we get away from that, bad things can happen, and we can get ourselves, behind the 8 ball, and we don't want that. So, we're just focusing on being able to step on the field, play well, and take care of business in that regard.
You've played 11 games. You've got 3 regular season games left. How do your practices change at this point of the year, say, to what they were a month and a half ago?
Well, I've learned this kind of throughout my coaching career. As you get deeper into the season, you got to monitor the physical health and the mental health with your team, specifically the guys that are playing for you, the 22, 23 guys, whoever's playing. How many miles are they putting on their bodies, during practice? How intense is it? How physical is it? How much prep work are you doing with film and the stuff on the field as far as the mental side? So trying to balance that and understand what your team's capable of, what they're comfortable of, and what they really need, and trying to mash that all together is, something that my staff and I, are aware of and we try to balance. So typically after, a Saturday, Mondays are less time on the field, maybe an hour, but much skill intensive, not as physical. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, prep for our opponent, getting what we need to install into the program, into the game plan, and then Friday, lightening up the load a little bit too, to be ready to go on Saturday.
Do the coaches start to do a little scoreboard watching at this time of the year?
I don't. I just look at our scoreboard at the end of the game. If
So
we got
you-
more than they do, then good for us.
You don't really care what's going on in the other 2 conference games?
I don't.
No, not at all?
It's interesting to see who won or lost, because we're playing those teams and what goes on there. But
But big ones here. 2 in a row at Johnny Unitas Stadium against Delaware, and then next week Fairfield.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, finish out the regular season homestand. So got to go strong.
All right, so the Tigers hopefully get the 3-0 on Saturday afternoon. Towson and the Blue Hens will face off at noon here at Johnny Unitas Stadium. I'll have the call along with Hunter Lochte on TowsonTigers.com starting at 11:45, and it will be Military Appreciation Day. And then following the lacrosse game is the annual spring football game. So come on out early, watch lacrosse, and then football. That will do it for the Tiger Lacrosse Report. For all your Towson Tiger needs, all you have to do is go to TowsonTigers.com or Towson Tigers on YouTube. For head coach Sean Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. We'll see you at the U, and go Tigers.